Today, Conversations with Christine, we're talking about fixed versus growth mindset. Fixed mindset, people believe that their traits, their abilities, their strengths, their talents, all that are fixed at birth. There's nothing they can do to change them. That's just how you're born. That's just the way it's going to be. People that have growth mindset believe that those things, those abilities, those strengths, the traits, the skills can be developed throughout our lives and at different stages of our lives. So that's an important thing to know. Now, usually when we're in a growth mindset, we can also have a fixed mindset about things. So we're not always one or the other. Sometimes we are a mixture of things. One of the things that really stands out to me with a fixed mindset is the idea of math, right? There are people that say, I'm terrible at math. I will never learn math. I'm never going to be good at it. Thank heavens for, well, first it was calculators. Now it's our phones where we can figure out tips and sale prices and all that sort of stuff. That's a fixed mindset versus having a growth mindset about math. Well, yeah, this is a challenge for me, but if I keep working on it and doing it, I can, be as good at math as anybody else, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. So this chart kind of gives us both of them. And why is it important? Because how do we shift, if we're a parent, how do we shift our child from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? And if we are an adult, how do we shift ourselves from a fixed mindset? Maybe something that happens at work that you always mess up and you're always going to mess it up. Well, no, that's not true. How can you learn from that? Maybe the people around you, how can we shift them to a growth mindset? So that's why it's really important to keep this idea of fixed and growth keep that in mind, because if people go through, it's very limiting to go through life in a fixed mindset, especially if a lot of your viewpoints and your thinking about yourself are fixed, and how other people are fixed. That can be really be very depressing and bring you down, because you're not even going to try. So let's go through this chart a little bit and talk about this. So, if you're fixed with these things, if you're at a fixed mindset, why would you ever attempt to grow and change? Because it's fruitless. That's just how you're going to be. Whereas a growth mindset helps you identify those strengths, as well as the areas that aren't a strength, so that you can find ways to improve and to grow and to achieve your goals. People that are stuck in a fixed mindset, they can feel threatened by other success, right? So if you see someone who's successful, maybe a very successful public speaker, and you're not, you're nervous, you get up and you stutter and you forget to follow your notes and your technology doesn't work. And so you're like, oh, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do this anymore, because I'm never going to be as good as that person. I'm never going to be as good as my boss. I'm never going to, right? Because you're threatened by that, because you don't see yourself as having that same opportunity. But if you have a growth mindset, then you find when other people are successful, you can find lessons. What can I learn from them? You're inspired by them. Wow, someday I'm going to get up to that point. That's my goal. I can work towards that. So hopefully you're starting to see the limits of being in a fixed mindset versus viewing things in a growth mindset. People in a fixed mindset ignore, don't like, shy away from external feedback. So feedback from other people, from reading a room, because what's the point? I'm not, it's just criticizing me. I can't learn anything from it. It's not going to make a difference. So I don't want that criticism, right? Versus someone who sees their abilities as being able to be changed and to be able to grow, they learn from that and take that constructive feedback, and maybe even totally negative feedback, as a way to seeing that as a way to grow and get better at something. So I can use that information that someone tells me and change the way I do things, make it better. Somebody else wants to just look smart to others. If you're in that fixed mindset, you just want to get by and look smart enough. Whereas if you're in a growth mindset, you want to keep learning throughout your lifetime, because you know it's not about what others think, it's about what you think, and I can keep doing better and better. The fixed mindset often blames others. They feel sorry for themselves and they focus on that negative, right? And I'm sure I can think of times when I've been in that fixed mindset and I only focus about the negative things that happen. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this and I can't believe that, and I did this and that person did that and it caused this to happen. And so it's all very situational, versus someone in a growth mindset. They can see the bigger picture and they start looking for solutions to the problems that come up, right? Because they can take that negative feedback, that feeling sorry for themselves, and be like, no, you know what? I didn't do so great at this time, but I know with practice, with some new strategies, learning a new skill, I can get better at this. I can search out these solutions for myself. Someone in the fixed mindset gives up easily. Parents, you might see this at home with homework. A student's just like, oh, I'm never going to get how to do these math problems. I'm done. I'm done with homework for tonight, right? Whereas someone who has that growth mindset, they keep going. They're like, oh, if I just keep, I'm close, I know it. And they keep going because they see what the future can hold. They see that they can figure that out eventually. So sometimes if you're in that fixed mindset, you ignore opportunities, right? Oh, there's no point in looking for that promotion because I'm never going to be able to do that anyway, right? Versus someone who is in a growth mindset, they seek out those opportunities and see those as responsibility to learn more and opportunities to learn more and to get to where they need to be. So, all through this, that green side is like the go side, right? Go and grow, having a very positive view of where our abilities are now and what we can do to grow them, versus someone who has a fixed mindset about something. They're kind of stuck, right? They're stuck in that view of, this is who I am. This is who I was meant to be. I can't do anything about it. And I'm just here. So what can we do about that, right? What can we do to shift ourselves to a growth mindset? Here's 5 ideas for us, okay? So if we think that we have the capacity to positively change our lives, what can we do? So first thing, we can adopt a positive outlook, right? So we can look at failures, things that don't go right for us, things that don't go as expected, positively. And how do we do that? We look at that as a learning situation. It's not a failure. It's, how can I learn from what just happened, right? So if you didn't tune in and you're getting the edited version of this, I talked for 5 minutes at the beginning of this Facebook Live without realizing that I was on mute. So, right, I could say, oh man, I'm never going to get these lives right. I goof up something every time. But no, that's not what's important here. The important thing is, yeah, that was unfortunate, but guess what? I'm never going to make that mistake again, right? I am always, one of the first things I do is I'm going to check the little box up in the corner of my screen and make sure that my speaker or my microphone is on and I'm not on mute, right? So I am learning of what the possibility holds for that. Yeah, that kind of sucked and it's a little embarrassing, but I can learn from that. It's not going to happen every time. I guarantee you, well, it might happen one more time, who knows? But I guarantee you it's not going to happen next time because I'm going to make changes. Every time I do these lives, I make changes, and it's really scary when I don't know, are people watching me? Are people commenting? I'm not sure how that works with this platform I'm using, but you know what? I'm going for it. I'm doing it, and hopefully you are getting some learning out of this, and even some enjoyment out of the craziness that sometimes happens. So, thinking of that, a positive outlook, stop avoiding challenge, right? So if something seems hard, don't Stop it. You have to look at those things that are challenging, that is a setback, as a way to say, yes, I can do this. Yes, to this new experience, right? We have to try something out. I'm learning to do this with eating. I am learning to try out new foods. And I found that some of them I don't like, or I still don't like Brussels sprouts for one of those. I tried them again, but I don't like them. But that's okay. I learned something from that. Let's just not buy Brussels sprouts anymore. But I've learned that I like cabbage. And I always thought that cabbage was gross. But now I like cabbage in my salad. I like it in a salsa. I like it in I cooked cabbage in a stir fry. All of these things, a new vegetable that I didn't think I liked. I'd pick the purple stuff out of my salads at restaurants. But now I know, you know what? It's not so bad. I can enjoy that. So, that's food related, but it's that same sort of thing. It's being open to new experiences, doing things outside of your comfort zone. Facebook Lives, outside of my comfort zone. I've got some programs I want to roll out later this summer and the beginning of fall, outside my comfort zone. But we as humans have to live outside our comfort zones. And that's where you see the biggest change. That's where you see your growth opportunities. Number 3, so reconsider failure. I kind of mentioned this before, but failure is a stepping stone, right? A failure is another step, another plank to cross the bridge. So it's a learning opportunity. So welcome that. Learn from them and grow from them. When I have students that take exams or take a test or a quiz and they do terrible and they're heartbroken, they're frustrated, they think I studied all this time, I just can't take tests. But I encourage them to go back, right? To go back and look at, what did you do wrong? And learn from that. Is it that you missed all the multiple choice because maybe you were rushing and didn't see that there could be 2 best answers? Or was it that you didn't answer the short answers fully and include all the things? Maybe you didn't put punctuation in there and your teacher takes off for that. Whatever it is, learn from that. So next time, you don't make the same mistakes again. So reconsider failure. Number 4, practice self-awareness, right? So kind of stop and pause. Think about your thoughts, your actions, and your beliefs, and how those affect your success and your happiness, right? So when you become a little more self-aware about yourself, when you say, oh, wow, this is a limiting thought here. I'm in a fixed mindset about this. How can I shift it? That's self-awareness. When you realize that the actions that you're taking aren't lining up with what you wanted to do, that's another place of self-awareness. Wow, I want to learn to speak Spanish by the end of the summer. For me, that would be a crazy goal, but let's say that's my goal. I want to learn to speak Spanish, enough by the end of the summer. But if that's my thought, my goal, but I never sit down and make time to study Spanish, well, of course I can't get to the end and say, oh, that's it. I can't learn Spanish. No, my actions didn't line up with my thought and my goal. So making sure your actions line up, that's that self-awareness piece. Wow. If I really want to speak Spanish by the end of the summer, I need to put the time in. I need to go online and do the study program. I need to record myself and listen to it. All of those things. That's also where you find your strengths, right? If you're self-aware, realizing that this is a strength of mine and how can I use that to really move me forward in this area? And the last one, number five, that's 10. Number 5, I love this. I really, really love this. Celebrate your hard work and your successes, but not just your successes, but celebrate the progress you're making, right? Because so many times, and this is where fixed mindset comes into play again, and some of our beliefs about ourselves is we set this huge goal. Maybe the goal is to Um, do the dishes every night. This isn't a huge goal. Sorry, it's a small goal. Do the dishes every night after dinner. Okay. So that's the goal. And you go through your week, and 2 nights out of the 7, you actually do the dishes. Those nights that you do that, celebrate it, because you're progressing to meet that goal. You're learning how to do things different. Be self-aware. And what is it that stops you from doing those dishes? Is it because you get up from the table and you go sit down, and it's the end of the day, you sit down and you don't get back up to do the dishes, and then you wait till the morning and the food's all stuck on them, and then they sit there another night, and now you have more, right? Is that what the problem is? Maybe, but 2 of those nights, I did it. Last week, I did 0. 2 is better than 0. So celebrate that hard work. Celebrate the small successes, because the more you feel good about that, and the more you realize, I can do that. I figured it out last night, and I figured it out 2 nights ago. So I think I'm going to try one more night and one more night. So you have to look at those little milestones, those little successes along the way, because all of them add up to the big success, right? You can't get to the end of doing it every night until you do each night on its own. So celebrate those successes. We don't do that enough. We get bogged down in gosh, I didn't do it again. I'm so frustrated and mad at myself. I don't even think this is a worthwhile goal. Well, yeah, it is. If it's important to you, it is a worthwhile goal. And you did it twice. So let's talk about next week. Maybe we let's do it 3 times. Or maybe let's notice what's going on the nights we do it. Like, how do we feel when we're done? Like, that feels so good. I know I'm not going to have to get up tomorrow morning and get the dishes all wet and scrape off the food and all that stuff. I'm going to come down to a clean kitchen. I love that feeling of a clean kitchen. So when you start to become more self-aware, tune into what you're noticing about those things, it's easier to have that growth mindset, to know that I can make changes to how I behave, to how I think, to who I am, and I can see that progress along the way. So hopefully that has been helpful to you today to learn. I think it's been about 10 minutes about growth mindset and fixed mindset. If you are interested in copies of these infographics, plus one more about 5 ways to boost your growth mindset thinking. If you comment down in the comments, obviously, if you comment in the comments, me or I want them, something like that, I will make sure to message those to you, the 3 copies, the fix versus growth, this implementing, ways to implement a growth mindset, and then 5 ways to boost your growth mindset. So an additional page. I would be happy to send these infographics out to you. I look forward to talking to you next Wednesday with the microphone on and hopefully you have a great week. Be thinking about your growth mindset. Notice where you're at a fixed mindset. Notice how people around you are at a fixed mindset, and think, how can I change my own mindset? How can I help my children change their mindsets? Whatever it is you need. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. And like I said, if you'd like copies of these infographics, just put something in the comments and I will go ahead and send it to you. Thanks. And it's been a great conversations with Christine.